Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Atlantic Coast Aesthetics. I'm Matt with ACA, and joining us once again is Dr. Thomas Pane, Chief Medical Officer and founder of Atlantic Coast Aesthetics. And Dr. Pane, this question of the week is from our Facebook crowd. And the question here from Boca Raton is about breast augmentation recovery and what can a person expect. Basically, the biggest worries about breast augmentation is a recovery from surgery. This person wants to know what can you expect, how much time off work does breast implant recovery require, and when do the scars really begin to fade? Dr. Pane, what do you suggest in this situation?
Breast augmentation, very common procedure, very common questions. You'll get some different answers depending on who the surgeon is and what technique. We're going to talk first about breast augmentation with implants. Most of the time, in a first-time procedure. First-time procedure, when the implants are placed under the muscle, is going to be the most sore of the procedures we do. It's sore for the first 3 to 5 days. Some people have very little discomfort, but I tell most people to expect at least some moderate soreness for the first 3 to 5 days. Usually by about 2 to 3 days, things are getting better. Light activities, we don't want a lot of heavy lifting. I don't want anything that can promote any bleeding in the pocket. I have a very low problem rate with breast surgery, very low. It's not zero, but it's very, very close to zero. So people get that way by careful technique and doing things cautiously in the recovery. But in terms of back to work, it depends on what kind of work you're doing and what kind of person you are. Some people are back if they're doing accounting or desk jobs. Some people are back in about 2 or 3 days, and I don't mind. If they're doing any kind of heavy lifting or anything physical, they've got to take a little bit longer time, sometimes up to about a week. After that, it just takes time for the swelling to go down. There's implant exercise and so forth. For somebody that's having a second time procedure, the pocket has already been made, it's less sore. If they're having other kinds of augmentation in a different plane where you go under the fascia, it's not as sore. We don't put a lot of implants above the muscle anymore, but sometimes we put them between the muscle and the fascia. That's called a subfascial. Usually not as sore there, but there can be some. I also do fat grafting breast augmentation in selected patients. And in those cases, they don't have the same kind of breast soreness with an implant. They'll have more of a liposuction type soreness, mainly in the areas where the fat is taken from, not so much where the fat is transferred to. In terms of scar fading, it takes the body about a year or 2 to fully mature the scar. But most scars will fade depending on your skin type and the care. Most of the time, by about 6 weeks, it starts fading pretty well, and then over several more months. So usually for most people inside a year, but the full maturation about 1 to 2 years actually.
Well, thank you, Dr. Pane. And if you have a question for the doctor, please visit our Facebook page or website. And Dr. Pane, we appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the next question.
Great.